pastoral ministry, it just totally eradicates the whole notion of the framework of a week. That the idea of a weekend, people are moving towards Friday, they're looking forward to Friday and everything. We're moving towards Friday going, goodness gracious, there's only 2 more days left of Sunday, and I did all these visits, and what am I going to do now? And I don't even understand the passage.
I know this subject of Sabbath is something that you've spent time exploring, examining, considering, part because of your background growing up in a Sabbath observant family, and part because of your desire to see what the scriptures are saying. As a pastor, you're working on Sunday. How do you carve out a Sabbath for yourself?
Yeah, it's a real challenge, isn't it? I think, first of all, the idea that we're working on Sunday, while it is true, there is, you know, the hymn writer has it, in service that thy will, in service that your will appoints, there are no bounds for me. That we worship, preaching is worship. The engagement with the people of God is, at its best, energizing. Yes, it makes a demand on us, but I mean, I'm first of all a Christian and then a pastor. And I was always, Sunday was always Sunday for me, both by background and also then by desire. I mean, I look back on my life and I think, you know, as soon as you got your driver's license at the age of 17, you really were going around and getting some of your friends and you're driving to hear people preach. I mean, that was kind of weird. I had a trial to play professional soccer, and I didn't take the trial because they called me on a Sunday afternoon. I was heavily influenced by John Murray of Westminster Seminary and his stuff, because he came from the Highlands of Scotland as well, and in the Outer Hebrides the ferry never went from the mainland because it was the Sabbath. All of that had a tremendous appeal to me, and I loved it, the freedom in it. And even when I ended up being a participant in it, still all those benefits mattered. And I still feel that to a certain extent, although I would say that 40 years of living in America has eroded so much of that. I mean, I'm a bit of a walking contradiction now in relationship to some of these things. In other words, the things that I hold dear, I'm not necessarily living in the light of the blessing of them that I once did. So in practical terms, I take a Tuesday as a day off. So Monday then becomes, you know, your kind of Friday night. But for me, pastoral ministry, it just totally eradicates the whole notion of the framework of a week. That the idea of a weekend, people are moving towards Friday, they're looking forward to Friday and everything. We're moving towards Friday going, goodness gracious, there's only 2 more days left of Sunday, and I did all these visits, and what am I going to do now? And I don't even understand the passage. So the pressure that is on that, and the sense of freedom that people enjoy, I've never been able to duplicate that. The only time I really, really enjoy weeks is when I don't have to preach on a Sunday, because then I have that sense of moving towards the weekend. So I try to do that. I'm pretty ruthless about it, and I try to, you know, make it a day of delight, a day of freedom, a day where I'm not tied up in all the other things.
And does that mean text messages and
yeah,
email? You don't go there?
No, I just leave that stuff alone. I mean, the trouble with that jolly phone is that, you know, everybody knows you are accessible, the people who know how to get through to you. And so I trust that they're not, sometimes one of the fellows here, he sends me stuff and I have to tell him don't do that again. But by and large, people know what my hope is, and so they protect me from that. But it's interesting, isn't it? You mentioned this because this whole Sabbath thing is back in vogue at the level of a secular world, and then a strange sort of resurgence in Judaism that is creeping somehow or another back into expressions of conservative Christianity. I'm not sure what to make of it all, except that I've now got friends who are back into Jewish Sabbaths that they are applying from sundown on a Friday
really?
until all the way through. And I'm saying to them, I don't think that post Council of Jerusalem that's something that the fellows would have been really excited about, but of course I don't know. But the quest for time and for freedom and for being relieved from those things is built into the very heart of humanity, hence the Sabbath.
I remember talking to a pastor friend who had essentially a breakdown after a long period of exhausting ministry. And he said to me, I didn't know you could become depressed and exhausted doing things you love doing. Mm-hmm. But he realized that there's a need for us to rest if we're going to be effective in ministry. And we may be energized even by the challenge, but if we're not disciplining ourselves to rest, that's problematic.
Yeah. This again is where the lay leaders in a church can be of help. Soon after I came here, one of the elders, who's a doctor at the Cleveland Clinic, he came to me and he said, we are not concerned to see you take half a day or a day just to restore the balance of things with your wife or with your children. And they were small at that time, and that was I don't think I've ever taken. I don't think I have taken an advantage of that situation. I mean, I've enjoyed that situation, but I haven't exploited it. That's what I'm trying to say. But I try to say that to the folks as well, that we work hard and we enjoy rest and relaxation, and the time to worry is when people are just downright lazy. And
how do you rest?
How do I rest? Well, when I don't have a Sunday coming, then I can read. And I can read and I don't have to stop reading. So I read. I mean, that's about the only thing I can do actually is read. I mean, some people make canoes or do woodwork or do stuff. They say to me, what do? I say, I read. I say, well,
you chase a little white ball from
well,
time
yeah,
to
so
time.
I play golf, but how could we call that relaxing? That is, I mean, it's relaxing in the sense that it gives you a focus that takes you completely somewhere else, but it's also one of the great challenges to our own sanctification. But no, I do. I love watching sport. Throughout my life, I've played at various levels of sport. Golf is fun to me. I enjoy just pottering around. My wife, Susan, whatever. What would you like to do? Well, how about this? I'd like to go there. Well, I want to pick up pots. I really have learned to get excited about the things that matter to her, and I mean that in all sincerity. I don't think before I married her I didn't know whether something blue went with something green or not, or any of that stuff. But now she's made me a lot like herself. So I enjoy that, roaming around old places and sport.